right, welcome back everybody to another edition of Dollar Bin Digging Finds. This is the second Dollar Bin Digging article that I do for comicbookinvest.com, where I just kind of basically talk about the pickups that I have. Now, recently, I've kind of expanded it from being Dollar Bin Digging only to just basically cheap comic book finds. So anything like I'm getting for a few bucks is kind of fair game in my mind. $5, $7, $8. I mean, just a few dollars. Basically, some of the cover prices these days, if I can get it for that or less, I'm putting it into this article so I can show you what I'm picking up. Because, to be fair, I can only buy so many dollar bin books out of the dollar bins because there's just so much to grab. There's only so much I can get. So I got to spend maybe $2 or $3 here or there to give you some more content to look at. So please make sure you check out the article over on comicbookinvest.com, as well as the video that I'm doing here on Rennavision. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button. If you do, I appreciate it. Tell a friend so we can keep that subscriber count going up, because I am still on my march to 1,000 subscribers. We are currently at about 860. I just completed my giveaway for 800. We're pretty close to 900. So once we hit 900, I'm going to be giving some more books away. So let's get that sub count up so we can give some more stuff out to you guys, because I'm having fun doing this. Hopefully you're having fun. And yeah, just hang on for a second. I'll be right back to show off the stuff that I wasted all my money on this last week. Okay, so let's see the stuff that I bought for $1 or just a few dollars. So as I said, we're doing cheap comics too, not just dollar bin stuff. I'll tell you the difference as we go through the books to let you know what I paid for them, to give you just some idea of the stuff that I'm picking up. But the basic idea still being these are cheap comic books, whether they be like cover price or $1. This is the stuff that I'm buying. So that being said, let's get into our first category or first subsection of my pickups, which in this case is later printings. Now, this first one, I don't know if you'll be able to read the price sticker on here, but for $3.50, I did grab myself Thunderbolts #1 second print, which if you look this up online, you can see this does all right for itself. This is, you know, like a $50, $55 kind of book. So for $3.50, that's something I'm not leaving in a box. Just throwing that out there. Cover price pickup. Also, going with those later printings, Moon Knight, Jeff Lemire run, #1, third print. It's okay. I think this is more like a 10 to 15. Maybe you can reach up to 20 at best, but just still a few dollars. People like these kinds of things, these later printings. Print runs go down. It's the same book. They might like the color of the trade dress, this being green in this case, where the third print is green. And maybe that's what they prefer. But still something I'm not leaving behind for cover price because, again, it's too cool not to. Another third print. This was $4.50. So this place that I was at, they like to put 50 cents, an upcharge of 50 cents on their back issues. So cover price is $4. So for $4.50, I got the third print of #2 as well to go with that #1. Like I said, not leaving this kind of stuff behind. So definitely grabbing those books for cheap because I think they're good buys, and I think there's still some legs on some of these. The Thunderbolts is already up there. I don't know how much further that can kind of go, but these Moon Knights, especially when we get Poe Dameron showing us his stuff on the Disney Plus series, these kinds of things might go up, especially if they tackle any of the subjects or subject matter that they did in the Jeff Lemire run. If we get like a Mr. Moon Knight or anything like that, who knows where they're going to go? We'll see. So that being said, those are my later printings. Not a lot, but still, I think a lot of bang for my buck there for the books that I did find. Now, our next section is the Marvel picks. Here, I'm going to take these down while we move on to the next section. And for the Marvel picks, this is kind of like MCU, Marvel Universe, kind of like speculation or just books related to that stuff that it's just fresh in my mind. It's the stuff that I'm digging and looking for. So with this first one, now, I know we're getting What If very soon. We're going to get Shang-Chi eventually, but then we are going to get Eternals before the year is out. So Black Knight has always been a favorite character of mine. Dane Whitman. I don't know. It's just a knight. A knight in the Avengers was kind of cool. I can't seem to manage to get an Avengers 47 or 48 for a price I can afford, but I can find a Marvel Triple Action for $1. So this is a reprint, to be sure. But this is a reprint for Avengers number 48, which is the first introduction, I guess, of the Black Knight. Dane Whitman, I believe, appears in 47, and this is a great cover. So the cover to Avengers 48 recolored. It's a Marvel triple action. I think this is like 10, 15 bucks if you're looking on eBay for something like this. But if you find it for $1, I think it's worth a pickup, either to flip it to get that 15 or to keep it for yourself because you can't get that original, as it is my case. Another Avengers book that I grabbed. This is $2.60 for Avengers. As I'm looking for all the Kang books, I'm not going to forget Nebula. And this is not her first appearance, but I think this is her first cover appearance. So, yeah, $2.60. I'm still going to grab it for $1 because it's cheap and it's worth it. So, Avengers $2.60 was one that I grabbed. And while looking for those Kang books, I found $2.69 last week. I did not find $2.67, but I did find the issue in between, issue $2.68, in the back issue bin, and it was only $1. So for $1 in the back issue bins, I'm grabbing the $2.68 to go with the $2.69, and I'll find $2.67 to go with it. I might already have it, but you know, that little bit of a run for Kang is definitely worth a pickup. So even though it doesn't have a cool cover like the other two, don't sleep on this one. So it's part of the story. So if you're interested in that story, you need all three. So keep an eye out for that $2.68 as well, because everybody's flocking to $2.67. Prices skyrocketed. And if they couldn't find that, and then they're going to $2.69, where he's fighting a Mortis on the cover. Skyrocketed. So get ahead of it. Get $2.68 too if you can, because it's the issue in between and part of that same storyline with Kang. And I think it's the Council of Kangs or whatever. See him face himself in Mortis. And while you're at it, you might as well grab, if you can, and Avengers Forever. The whole 12-issue series is worth grabbing. I mentioned it before. I know I've recently purchased the variant for this first issue, which is a cool Kang cover. Now, this cover isn't as fun as that Kang cover, but it's still the first issue, so I'm still going to grab it for cheap. So, Avengers Forever #1 is a book that I'm keeping an eye out for, as well as the rest of the series. Like I said, 12-issue run. Definitely keep an eye out for it. Same with this... again, Marvel speculation. Secret Wars #2. I'm looking at this along with most of the Secret Wars run because everybody's thinking, oh, Battle World, we're going to get Secret Wars. We're going to get something down the line, which I think could happen as well. But if we do, I'm hoping if and when we do, we are also getting Emperor God Doom, who actually first appears in the second issue of Secret Wars. So Emperor God Doom, I mentioned it last week, would be fantastic on screen. Fantastic on screen. As long as they cast the right actor to play him. But that being said, he first, I believe, shows up as, you know, Emperor God Doom with the white robes. He's running Battle World. He's kept the universe alive. It's Doom, but it's more than Doom. It's the second issue of the series. So keep an eye out for that. Now, moving on to our next segment. I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. This one is a viewer tip. Viewer tip, you say? Yes, E-Man Tony hit me up on IG and mentioned some stuff. Like, we were chatting about a few things, but he mentioned something I found actually interesting. So based on what he told me, I went out and bought some books. Either for cover, because this was a new issue released this week. So this is cover. This is Miles Morales, #28. I'm actually not only going to cover this here, but I'm going to cover this in Forgotten First, because you'll hear why eventually. But during this Clone Saga for Miles, I bought the rest of the run. It wasn't just this issue 28 that started it, but also issue 25, which was a variant cover, 26, and 27. Again, these are like cover price or cover price plus 50 cents in the back issue bins when I grab them. But if you read the issue 28, the most recent issue, you can see that out of the Clone Saga, Miles finds himself a new brother. So his first appearance was in the issue 25, and that's what I'm going to be doing on Forgotten First. So even if it's not forgotten, it might be a little bit more ignored. So I'll dig in a little bit deeper later in the week, so keep an eye out on Rennavision for that. So those were the Miles books that I picked up based on E-Man Tony's suggestion, because I liked what he was throwing down. I liked it, so I bought into it. I'm not a genius. It's not just what I have to say. I listen to people. When it makes sense, I listen to people, and I'll buy stuff. So now I'm going to move into our final section, which is randomness. And we're going to pick up a little bit on the Miles run because I found this for 50 cents in the cheap bins. And this is issue 2. Just a pretty cool cover. He's got Cap, Shield, Miles, of his own, Spider-Man series where he was headlining the Spider-Man series. So issue 2 does okay. I mean, this could get you like $10, but for 50 cents, I'm scooping this up. As am I scooping up for 50 cents Met Cadet U. Yeah, it's announced. It's going to be a Netflix show in his Boom Book. So I'm not going to just ignore this. I don't know how popular the Netflix show might be. It might be nothing. It might be something that people forget. It could be a Jupiter's Legacy for all I know. But for 50 cents, I'm not leaving it in the box. So I'm grabbing issue number 1. And not only am I grabbing issue number 1, I'm grabbing whatever they got for 50 cents. So I got number 2. I'm getting number 3. I'm getting number 4. And for 50 cents, I'm grabbing number 5. Yeah, there are more. I think it's 12 issues that actually complete this run and this storyline, but that's what they had, so that's what I bought. So for 50 cents, like I said, I'm not leaving them behind. But that fills up the rack, so I'm pulling these down to continue on with randomness. And just some things not to forget, especially in those dollar bins. While this may not do as well as it did maybe at one point back in the day, Green Arrow. I know the show's over. It's no longer on CW, but Green Arrow, first Komodo. I don't know. Maybe it's a character we see again. If not, I thought about doing this for Forgotten First as well, but I don't see a lot of possibilities in the near future for a character like Komodo. But again, for $1, I'm not leaving Green Lantern 17 behind. Plus, it's got a really cool cover. Just saying. Same thing with issue number 24. There aren't a lot of issues to pick up of the new 52 Green Lantern run, but these are 2 that I always keep in mind and keep digging for. And 24 is the first John Diggle, and we are getting John Diggle back still on the CW. He apparently has turned down the Green Lantern ring offer, but he's still coming back. I think he might be on Legends. He might still be on Flash. I don't know where he's going to show up, but he can show up basically anywhere in the CW television universe. And John Diggle's first appearance in DC Comics is in 24. So that's one I still like grabbing because he's still a fun character and an important piece of the TV show line, even though for whatever reason he didn't accept the Green Lantern ring, which I will hazard a guess it was because of the television show's budget. Cost too much to show Green Lantern on screen, so that's why he didn't keep the ring. Up next, for 50 cents over cover, Battle of the Planets 1, Michael Turner. I have a hard time saying no to Michael Turner art as well, especially if it's basically cover price or cover price plus 50 cents. So for $3.50, I'm grabbing a Battle of the Planets 1. Just saying. 8's not worth a whole heck of a lot now, but if we ever get something out of Battle of the Planets, this is the type of stuff that will attract collectors, especially when it's an artist that is in demand. So that's the kind of stuff that I look for, just in case. Plus, I just kind of like it. And then my final pickup is a oddball Star Wars pickup. I don't know why this was in this box and why this was priced as it was. I can only hazard a guess that it was either or whoever was pricing them not knowing about the series, or they use like an Overstreet or something like that. But Jedi vs. Sith number 6 in a box, back issue for, I don't know if you can see it on camera there, $4. Yeah, so for $4, I'm grabbing this Jedi vs. Sith issue 6 because it's just awesome. What's her name? First Darth. I can't think of her name. It begins with a Z. Why can't I think of her name? Zatanna, not Zatanna. I want to say Zatanna, but it's not Zatanna. But obviously, there's a first appearance in here. Please check the CBSI Star Wars first appearance list, and you will see the person that I'm talking about because I'm fumbling over her name right now while we're filming this. And yeah, but for $4, not leaving this behind. So definitely grabbing the Darth Zorana. Maybe it's Zorana. I don't know. it's an interesting character. It's Darth Bane's disciple, basically. And we all know how cool Darth Bane is. And issue 1 of the series is rocket ship, to the moon, price wise. This one's not too shabby as well. The whole series is one worth grabbing if you can find any. But yeah, definitely happy to grab for $4. So those are the books that I grabbed from those cheap bins, those dollar bins, those cheap back issue bins. And that's what I like to cover here on the Dollar Bin Digging Finds video and article. I'll write up a little bit of a segment on a couple of these books, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do, please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. I try to cover the things that I buy every week. Some weeks I buy more books than others. This was actually a light week. I was only able to go out actually once to go comic book hunting, and this is the stuff that I bought the day that I went out. So that being said, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments, and I will see you guys next time.